now!
It's your finger that's pulling this trigger.
You messed with the wrong family.
All right, so a lot of people are just dying to know, is this movie Tomb Raider going to finally break the video game movie curse? Well, let's find out. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Tomb Raider. I really do appreciate it. And as far as my intro question goes, as far as this film breaking the video game movie curse, well, you're just going to have to watch the whole review to find out. But now we have Tomb Raider 2018. This film is being directed by Roy Uthag. I've never heard of him before, but when I looked up his filmography, he did do another film that came out in 2015 called The Wave. I have not seen it. If you have seen it, go ahead and comment down below. But as far as Tomb Raider is concerned, I was a big fan of the video game back in the 90s, late 90s, 1996 to be exact, when the Tomb Raider game first came out in PlayStation. It was a very fun game. I can't remember if I beat it or not, but I do remember having a good time. I did somewhat enjoy the earlier Tomb Raider films that came out in 2001 and the other one that came out in 2003 with Angelina Jolie. I don't really remember much about them, but when they said that they wasn't going to make anymore, I also didn't lose any sleep. But with this reboot that we have here, this is not based off the old movies or the old video game that came out in '96. This is based off the 2013 rebooted Tomb Raider video game that came out, was it 5 years ago? And I haven't played that game, so I don't know, how good it really is. To fill the titular role, we have Alicia Vikander. She is an Oscar-worthy performer. She won Best Actress in a Supporting Role or a Leading Role in 2006 with The Danish Girl with Eddie Redmayne. I did see that film, and then I did enjoy that for the most part. And when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I didn't really think that Alicia Vikander could fit the role. I'm not trying to, sound like an a-hole here, but I just, for me, remembering the old Tomb Raider games and Angelina Jolie already being a little small herself, and just her in that film and the video games, I was just kind of saying that all the action and adventure that this character is going to be embarking on, Alicia Vikander just doesn't look like she's big enough and can handle the physical toll of the character she's just trying to fulfill. That was my early reactions going into the trailer after I saw it, but coming up to its release, I kind of got a hold of my senses and just kind of looking at like, okay, she does like she's going to do a pretty good job. And for the most part, Alicia Vikander did do a great job in the role. This film really did put the action and the adventure element on the forefront, and that is what I like most about it. Me just, as I'm talking to you now, remembering back in the game had a lot of puzzles and things that you had to figure out, a lot of traps that you had to avoid. There was a lot of running, there was a lot of jumping, and if you didn't time your jump at the very exact moment, you would die. You would fall into a pit and get eaten by alligators, swarmed by snakes, or fall onto a bed of spikes or something like that to impale you and die. And this movie put that video game element right on the big screen, and I really did enjoy that. A number of times while I was watching this movie, I was saying to myself, oh my gosh, this really reminds me of the game. They're doing a great job there. Now, going back to where I talked about Alicia Vikander being physical and things like that, this comes with a gripe. Not that she cannot fight in the movie, she can, but at times the film does contradict itself, because so early on in the film, when we're getting to know Lara Croft, she's completely oblivious to the lifestyle that her father lived before he left. And if you don't know the story, Lara Croft's father, they're in London, and he's extremely rich billionaire, and he just goes and disappears one day, and Lara is broken, she's lost, she does not know what to do. And so she finds it upon herself to get motivated to go on a number of adventures and things like that, following her father's past clues, and hopefully they can maybe reunite someday, because she just does not want to accept the fact that he's not here anymore. But as we're getting to know her, there was one key scene me to where it contradicts the rest of the film, to where she's in the gym, you know, sparring, fighting, you know, getting her physical fitness on. And this is a very telling scene because it lets us know early on what Laura will be able to do physically if she comes into somebody later on that she has to, you know, tussle with, fight, wrestle, things like that. And the way that it ended up at the very beginning of the film completely contradicts how things play out later on in the film. Later on in the film, I'm just kind of asking myself, okay, you're not the biggest woman, you're not the strongest, so how are you able to beat up all these dudes? Now, I have no problem with you beating up these guys. I mean, you may just have some skills, you know, up your sleeve, and you just may know how to hit all of these pressure points and hit all these angles and things like that. But why didn't you do this early on in the film? I just didn't really understand that, and, you know, it's something that just really wasn't consistent for me. But that's okay. It's not that big of a gripe, but it is something, you know, that I didn't notice. But like I said earlier on, all the action and adventure elements did make up for that. As far as everybody else, Dominic West does play her father. I liked him at the very beginning of the film. I also liked the flashback scenes that we got of him with him and a younger version of Lara Croft. They really did have the great, perfect father-daughter relationship, and that just kind of gave more meaning to Lara Croft's journey as she's going across the land trying to find trying to find her father. You know, she's just not running off. You know, you kind of, you know, I can't necessarily relate with her because you know, I'm glad I can say this. I know where my father is right now, and I'm not just thinking to myself, okay, oh my gosh, you know, where did my father go? But with all these flashback scenes that we get in their relationship, as, you know, they're in the courtyard and he's, you know, with her as she's shooting a bow and arrow, or she's, you know, on a horse or doing this or doing that. You know, I really did enjoy those scenes. They did that very well. The villain in this film, what is his name? Walton Goggins. I really do like him as well. There wasn't much to him, but, you know, he did sell me on somebody that you didn't want to cross. If you didn't do exactly what he said, he probably would just shoot you in the face. You know, but this movie really did feel like an adventure. It really did remind me of the game. But when I go back and look at the plot of the film, the story that covers everything, a lot of it just really didn't make sense to me and just kind of came across as unnecessary. You know, also, they kept dancing with timelines in this movie, like 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 1997, 2009, and things like that. And that just wasn't consistent. I was losing myself on exactly what year we were in the present day and when something happened in the past. But just when the plot reveals itself, besides Laura wanting to go find her father, just everybody else, that all the surrounding cast, I was just kind of asking myself, okay, like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why is this so important to you? The motivation just really wasn't there, to where you just kind of just saying to yourself, like, I mean, there's just really no point on the protagonist side and the antagonist side. I did enjoy the film. It is not the best thing in the world. I went in with extremely low expectations, but I think that you will enjoy it slightly more than I did. If I had to rate Tomb Raider out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Yes, a 6 out of 10. But guys, I said all that, but it's just my opinion. Have you seen Tomb Raider, or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And if you don't, that's fine. Subscribe to my channel, go to my website and look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that good stuff down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Tomb Raider. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace. Now, as far as if this film beats the video game curse as far as being adapted to films, I would say it does. This, you know, most all video game movies, probably other than Mortal Kombat, you know, suck. I mean, there are some great things about that film, but there are just some other things that are just crazy. You know, this is worthy. I did give it a passing grade, but it is still not better than Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Yes, right here, baby. This is still, to me, the best video game adaptation ever. I believe this came out in 2014. It was 13 episodes, about 9 or 10, 11 minutes long. That was released on YouTube's Machinima channel, but now I have it on Blu-ray. Budget was only $4 million. It was directed by Joey Ansa, you know, but anyway, look up a trailer right now on YouTube while you're watching this, and, you know, look this up online and buy it and support this because I think it's really good.